Welcome to the third lecture in our sociology series. Today, we embark on an essential journey into sociological theories, the framework that helps us decode the complexities of human society. Theories are the heart of sociology. Without them, observations about social life would remain isolated facts, lacking the structure needed to generate understanding. What exactly are social theories? Simply put, they are systematic explanations about how society works, why society evolves, and how individuals and groups interact within social context. They are tools that transform raw data and everyday experiences into meaningful insights. Just as science uses laws to explain natural phenomena, sociology depends on theories to illuminate the patterns and relationships shaping social reality. The core function of sociological theories is to provide general framework that can explain a wide range of social phenomena. They allow sociologists to organize their observations and uncover underlying social processes that govern human interactions, social institutions, and cultural norms. Theories link the micro level individual behaviors and interactions with macro level structures such as the economy, political systems, and social hierarchies. Sociological theories come in varying scopes. Macro level theories focus on large scale social systems and the structures that organize society, while micro level theories concentrate on the lived experiences and interactions between individuals in daily life. This dual perspective is what makes sociology unique in examining both the social order and the agency of individuals. Beyond explanation, sociological theories serve as a foundation for critical analysis and prediction. They enable researchers to formulate hypotheses, analyze social trends, and develop policies that shape social welfare. Theories define the field's boundaries, guiding research questions and methods. It is crucial to recognize that no single theory holds all the answers. Each sociological perspective offers a unique lens, highlighting specific aspects of social life. Some emphasize social order and stability, others, conflict and inequality, while yet others focus on meanings of individuals create to interaction. In this lecture, we will delve into five sociological perspectives that have shaped our understanding of society. 1. Structural functionalism, focusing on social stability and integration. 2. Conflict theory, examining power, inequality, and social change. 3. Symbolic interactionism, exploring interpersonal meanings and social construction. 4. Feminist theory, highlighting gendered power relations and intersectionality. 5. Critical and postmodern theories, critiquing power, discourse, and ideology in modern society. Together, these theories form the backbone of sociological inquiries and provide the conceptual tools necessary to analyze complex social phenomena effectively. Next is structural functionalism. Structural functionalism is one of the earliest or most influential sociological perspectives, with roots tracking back to Emile Durkheim and later expanded by Talcott Parsons and Robert K. Merton. This theory views society as a complex system whose parts work together to promote solidarity, stability, and social order. At the core of structural functionalism is the idea that society is like a living organism. Just as an organism's organs each have specific functions vital for the health of the whole, social institutions such as family, education, religion, and government perform essential functions that maintain the social system. Each element contributes to the overall equilibrium, ensuring the survival and proper functioning of society. Durkheim introduced the concept of solidarity. Durkheim introduced the concept of social solidarity to explain how societies hold together. In traditional societies, solidarity is based on similarity among individuals, known as mechanical solidarity. Complex societies rely on organic similarity, where social cohesion arises from the interdependence of specialized roles within the division of labor. Talcott Parsons further developed this perspective with his AGIL paradigm, suggesting that all social systems must meet four functional imperatives to survive: adaptation, adjusting to the environment; goal attainment, defining and achieving primary objectives; integration, coordinating parts of the system to work harmoniously; latency, preserving cultural patterns and motivating individuals. Another key contributor, Robert K. Merton, refined functionalist thought by differentiating between manifest function and latent functions. For example, education's manifest function is to transmit knowledge, while its latent function might include social networking or maintaining social stratification. Structural functionalism emphasizes order and stability over conflict, arguing that social institutions exist because they serve necessary purposes. It highlights the importance of social cohesion and values consensus in maintaining societal equilibrium. However, this perspective is not without criticism. It has been accused of justifying the status quo and ignoring social inequalities and conflicts. Critics argue functionalism downplays power struggles, social change, and the experiences of marginalized groups. Despite these critiques, structural functionalism remains a vital tool for understanding how social institutions interconnect and contribute to the continuation of society. It provides a foundation for analyzing the functions of education, law, religion, and other systems in maintaining social order. Next is conflict theory. Structural functionalism emphasizes social order and stability. Conflict theory provides a sharp contrast by focusing on power, inequality, and social change. Its roots lie in the works of Karl Marx, who famously critiqued capitalist society as a system marked by class struggle and exploitation. Conflict theory views society not as a harmonious whole, but as an arena of ongoing tension and competition between groups with unequal access to resources, power, and privileges. The primary conflict Marx identified was between the bourgeoisie, owner of the means of production, and the proletariat, working class, with capitalism creating inherent inequalities and exploiting workers for profit. Beyond class, conflict theory has expanded to analyze other forms of inequality relating to race, gender, ethnicity, and more. The perspective exposes how dominant groups maintain their supremacy by controlling resources and institutions, and how subordinate groups resist and seek social change. In addition to Marx, modern conflict theorists like C. Wright Mills introduced the concept of the power elite, a small group of political, military, and economic leaders who wield disproportionate influence over society. Ralph Dahrendorf focused on social conflict arising from authority structures, while Antonio Gramsci's idea of cultural hegemony explains how ruling classes maintain dominance through ideological control and consent rather than just force. Conflict theory is especially useful in analyzing social phenomena such as economic disparities and wealth concentration, racial and ethnic discrimination, gender inequality and patriarchy, political power struggles, and social movements. Its focus on inequality and conflict challenges the status quo and emphasizes the need for structural change to achieve social justice. However, critics argue that conflict theory sometimes overemphasizes division. It may neglect the ways in which individuals actively create social bonds despite systematic inequalities. Nonetheless, conflict theory remains vital to sociology by highlighting the contested nature of social life and the mechanisms through which power and equality are reproduced or challenged. Next is symbolic interactionism. Moving from the macro level analysis of structural functionalism and conflict theory, symbolic interactionism offers a micro level perspective that focuses on the everyday interactions between individuals and the meanings they create. Originating from the works of George Herbert Mead and the further developed by Herbert Blumer, symbolic interactionism emphasizes that society is not a fixed entity, but is continuously constructed and reconstructed through a social interaction. The core idea is that people act based on the meanings things have for them, and these meanings arise out of social interaction and are modified through interpretation. Key concepts in symbolic interactionism include symbols, objects, words, gestures, or images that carry particular meanings recognized by the members of a society. Second is meaning, the significance of definition attributed to symbols, behaviors, or situations. Next key concept is the self, an ongoing process where individuals develop their self concept through interactions with others. Mead described this using the concept of I, the spontaneous self, and the me, the looking glass self, introduced by Charles Horton Coley. It refers to the way individuals shape their self image based on how they imagine others perceive them. Symbolic interactionism highlights how people continuously interpret their social worlds, negotiate identities, and engage in meaning making through language and symbols. This perspective opens a window into understanding processes like role taking, socialization, and the formation of social norms from the ground up. The theory has broad application in areas such as identity construction and presentation, communication studies, the sociology of emotions, everyday social interaction, understanding group interaction, understanding group dynamics and subcultures. Unlike macro theories, symbolic interactionism does not focus on large social structures or institutions directly. Instead, it investigates the interactive processes through which social reality is created, maintained, and changed. Critics of this perspective argue that it may overlook structural factors such as class, race, or gender by focusing too narrowly on micro level interactions. However, symbolic interactionism remains invaluable for exploring the fluid, negotiated nature of social life. By understanding the symbolic foundation of society, sociologists gain a nuanced appreciation of how social order and change are rooted in everyday human experience. In the upcoming section, we will explore Feminist theory, which adds a critical dimension to the sociological analysis by focusing on gender and power. Feminist theory is a vital sociological perspective that centers on understanding and challenging gender inequalities deeply embedded in society. Rooted in conflict theory, it focuses on the social structure that perpetuate the dominance of men over women, a system known as patriarchy. Feminist theorists argue the societal institutions, cultural norms, and everyday interactions often disadvantage women and uphold gender based power imbalances. At the heart of feminist theory is the belief that gender is the central axis of social inequality and conflict. It analyzes how gender roles, stereotypes, and expectations are socially constructed rather than biologically determined. They are changeable and historically contingent. This perspective refuses to see gender inequality as natural or inevitable, but as a system that must be critically examined and transformed. Feminists highlight multiple dimensions of inequality, such as economic disparities, discrimination, objectification, violence, and underrepresentation in political and social institutions. The theory emphasizes intersectionality, recognizing that gender intersects with race, class, and ethnicity, sexuality, and social categories to produce complex layers of oppression or privilege. One influential contribution feminist theory makes to sociology is the assertion that the personal is political. This phrase means that personal experiences of women, ranging from domestic labor to reproductive rights, are deeply connected to larger social and political structures. Feminist scholars advocate for bringing these often invisible or marginalized experiences into the realm of social analysis and public discourse. Feminist theory branches into diverse strands, including liberal feminism, which advocates for equal opportunity and rights, radical feminism, which critiques patriarchy as a system of male domination, Marxist feminism, linking gender oppression to capitalist exploitation, and postmodern feminism, which questions fixed categories of gender and identity. This theoretical perspective encourages transformative changes towards gender equity and social justice by challenging societal norms, laws, and power relations. It has profoundly impacted sociological research, enriching our understanding of family, education, work, crime, and media through the lens of gender. While feminist theory primarily focuses on women's experiences, it also calls for the dismantling of oppressive systems affecting all genders, promoting inclusive and equitable societies that respect diversity and human rights. Next is critical and postmodern theories. As we conclude our exploration of major sociological perspective, we turn to critical theory and postmodern theory, two closely related but distinct approaches that critically examine power, knowledge, and social structure in contemporary society. Critical theory originated with the Frankfurt School thinkers like Max Horkheimer, Theodor Adorno, and Herbert Marcuse. It seeks to uncover and challenge the ways dominant social groups maintain power and control through culture, ideology, and economic structures. Critical theorists argue that societal problems stem largely from systematic inequalities embedded in capitalism, media, and institutions that perpetuate domination. It emphasizes emancipation and social transformation by calling attention to how ideology obscures real world exploitation and oppression. Postmodern theory, emerging later, critiques the grand universal narratives of modernism, including those put forth by classical sociology. Postmodernists emphasize the fragmentation, uncertainty, and multiplicity of social realities, arguing that truth and knowledge are socially constructed and context dependent rather than absolute. Sociologists like Michael Foucault, Jean Baudrillard, and Jacques Derrida explores how power operates through discourse, language, and surveillance in subtle, decentralized ways, shaping identities and social realities. Postmodernism challenges the assumption of objectivity and stable meaning, highlighting the diversity of perspectives in contemporary, globalized societies. It stresses that societal norms and knowledge are contingent, fluid, and shaped by historical and cultural context. This theory also reveals the pervasiveness of media, consumer culture in constructing hyperreality, a simulation of reality that has replaced or distorted genuine social experience. While critical theory focuses on critiquing capitalist power structure and seeking emancipation, postmodern theory questions the foundation of those critiquing themselves, emphasizing pluralism, fragmentation, and the complexities of identity. Together, these perspectives deepen sociological inquiry by exposing hidden power relations, questioning accepted truths, and promoting reflexivity in research. They encourage sociologists to analyze not only structural form of oppression but also subtle cultural and ideological mechanisms. In summary, critical and postmodern theories provide sophisticated lenses to understand power, knowledge, and social change. In the late modern world, expanding sociology's analytical reach beyond its traditional frameworks. This brings us to the end of our lecture on sociological perspectives. By understanding these diverse theories, you are equipped with a comprehensive toolkit to explore, critique, and engage thoughtfully with complex social phenomena.